Hey, hey, friends and revolutionaries. As we wait patiently for the got postponed from December, but still not part of the 2011 subscription, the Eternian Guards 2-pack from Mattel. I did promise that we were going to have some fun with some other Masters of the Universe things, and sure enough, I wanted to go ahead and get a look at the Series 2, or Set 2, or Wave 2, however you want to refer to it, of the Toys R Us exclusives DC Universe versus Masters of the Universe Classics figures. And here, we're kicking things off with Aquaman versus Merman. Pretty expected team up or matchup, if you ask me. Not to spend too much time on the packaging, though there's a lot you could talk about. I'm sure people have mentioned more than enough times that on these packages, there is the sculpted lightning bolt that runs down the middle. Very much the idea of the lightning bolt on the back with the verses in the middle, kind of splitting them apart or fusing the two, if you like to look at it that way. The entire DC side, very much like what you'd see on a DC figure. Got the character down at the bottom. Now this is almost like the way we saw it from the waves 1 through 10, with the colors on the bottom, kind of the orange style, but still with the newer kind of triangular front. Interesting blend. On the side, it's got the picture of Aquaman in the nice comic styling. And then past the lightning bolt, and here we go, and we have the Masters of the Universe packaging style. I mean, exactly the way you'd see this on the side of a regular Masters of the Universe figure. Pull off to the side here and take a look. Got the lightning bolt painted on. Got the Masters of the Universe logo at the top. And of course the Castle Grayskull brickwork. Now this actually has the scroll with Merman's portrait on it, I guess to balance Aquaman here on this side. Though, you know, it's not actually on the Masters of the Universe packaging. So, you know, if they left it out, I actually would be a little bit happier if they just left that off. There is the shield emblem here with Merman. And it kind of takes me to one of my biggest disappointments as far as the packaging goes, because if you actually have if you actually buy multiples of these to keep on card, you know, to appreciate, the packaging here, not as nice as the packaging as it was on the first set with He-Man and Superman, Skeletor, and Lex Luthor, where on the DC side it has the comic picture. That's cool. But on this side, there really should have been more of kind of that airbrushing, more artistic kind of styling here. Instead, they kind of gave it the comic treatment. You know, hopefully they'll alternate that. Green Lantern and Zodak will be coming out pretty soon, and hopefully theirs going to look a little nicer than this. This is a little blah. On the bios, Aquaman, King of the Seven Seas. Real name, Arthur Curry Oren. Found abandoned, Prince Oren of Atlantis was raised in the ways of the surface world and made the namesake of lighthouse keeper Arthur Curry. But in the water was where young Arthur truly thrived. In adulthood, he took the name Aquaman and used his aquatic abilities to patrol the seven seas. The Aquatic Avengers, renowned, soon earned him a place among the newly assembled Justice League of America. That's Aquaman. Merman, Squiddish Rex. I don't like it. Ocean Warlord. King of the Seven Seas, the Ocean Warlord. Sea, ocean. Mine pond's bigger than yours. Ruler of the undersea realms of Eternia, Merman was forced to serve in the armies of Skeletor after his kingdom was destroyed in a battle with rival ocean clans. His allegiance to Skeletor brings him to the surface world more often than he would like. Cowardly on land, Merman prefers to stay in his murky waters of the Sea of Rakash, waiting for the evil call of Skeletor. So he's pretty nasty underneath the water, but get him on land and he's just clumsy and cowardly. Yeah, that fits. That's a quick look at the packaging. We'll go ahead and pop them open and have some fun. Be right back. Alright, well, now with with the figures open, figure we go ahead and start with the King of the Seven Seas, Aquaman. And not surprising, you know, Superman and Lex Luthor, Aquaman here, and eventually Hawkman, which I don't want to talk too much about yet, are, of course, DC licensed property. These are DC characters. So Mattel can't just go changing the way they look, just, you know, whenever. So it's not surprising that in this case, for these 2-packs, for these Versus packs, the figure that we get is going to be pretty much the classic version of him. The one that we probably got from the Wave. And this is a fantastic Aquaman. I mean, this is a really great Aquaman. We did, not so long ago, get a look at a more golden, shiny kind of Aquaman, which actually was really nice as well, and why I'm not going to talk too much about the orange Aquaman, because for the most part it is really just the same figure with a different paint deco. Take a look. Now, yeah, you can kind of see it on camera. The golden Aquaman, you know, his legs are a little bit brighter green than kind of the darker ones here on the more classic style. Obviously, the shirt, kind of the golden shirt versus the kind of flat orange. Around the collar, though, it has got the gold around the collar, which is kind of cool. The heads are exactly the same. And really, on this Aquaman, with his brighter color scheme, somehow it makes his face look a little more washed out, I think. Especially when compared to the Aquaman in the orange, where, again, I don't know if it's a reflection of the color back onto his face, or just the way the two colors kind of mix. But really, on the orange Aquaman, the classic Aquaman, yeah, his face has a little more warmth, and it looks a little bit, I don't know, has a little bit more flesh tone to it. I do like it. Overall, I really like this figure. Again, when I did the review on this one, I mentioned that I didn't have the DC Universe Classics Aquaman, and he hasn't been released on a single card. So, you know, having him in this 2-pack, getting this particular Aquaman in this color scheme, it's awesome. I mean, it is just so cool. Looks awesome, awesome, awesome. Biggest drawback I have about him, and it's because he's in this pack, is that the one leg, and yeah, there you can see it right there, the knee on it is actually a little warped. So it will require some heating and some correcting, but even still, it is very minor and doesn't really impact how the figure stands or how you can pose him. He comes with the exact same Triton as the golden version. Exactly the same, all the same details. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. I mean, literally the exact same Triton, exactly. And on this Aquaman, the articulation, pretty much the same thing. Full ball jointed head. Not something we see on many DC Universe Classic figures nowadays. Twist at the waist. It's actually not much of a twist. Good crunch. Got a good crunch. Shoulder comes up. Now, twist. Twist of the bicep. Elbow, wrist. Leg comes up and out. Up and out. Twist at the thigh, knee, and foot. So all the things that I said about this Aquaman, if you haven't seen the Undersea Assault 2-pack, the review on that one, everything I said about that Aquaman stands on this one. The scale work on him. You know, I love the fins on the back of his legs here. The sculpt overall. I mean, it's really, really great. And it's nice to get this Aquaman again, if you didn't get him the first time around, just so that when you do pose him next to the golden version, you can really see how well they come across, how well they look together. So I'm really stoked. And again, because this is a DC license, as cool as it would have been to have gotten the bearded Aquaman with his hook hand, I am pretty happy with what we got here. So that's a quick look at Aquaman. Not the most original definitely have seen him at least twice already, but having him in this pack for a third shot, no problem. Stick around. We'll go ahead and we'll take a look at the Merman, so be right back. Okay. I can tell right now that this video is going to run long because I have not done a review of the single-carded Classics Merman, and there is just so much to talk about with this figure, both this one and the single card and the vintage. So getting down to the brass tacks here, for the most part, this is the exact same Aquaman, exact same sculpt, everything about him exactly the same, even down to the gloves and even the color of the belt. If I bring in the single-carded version, you can see that other than the colors of the skin, this is pretty much the exact same figure. Other major difference is when you look at the bottom here, the feet on the Classics version are in the green. The 2-pack are in the yellow. But really, other than that, they took pretty much everything from this Merman and just reused on this one, sculpted him in a blue, and painting him as a blue, as opposed to the green. Almost kind of has a fake-or look to him if this had been a little more orangish. But one thing that they didn't do on this Merman, and of course the reason he's in the blue, and you'll see at the end of the video, I'll put in some of the photos from the mini-coms, that this is the way Merman originally was painted in the mini-coms, as a blue fishy kind of guy. Eventually became kind of aqua, and finally to the now familiar orange. But still, I am so stoked with Matty about how they actually are going back and giving Minicom fans these versions of the figures, these variants, and doing them in 2-packs, which I think is just outstanding. I love it. But again, as I was saying, one thing that is different from this one, from the one that was on the single card, is that this one only does come with the one head, which is, makes perfect sense. This is the head that was in the Minicom. So giving him kind of the cat head that we got with the single card version, kind of the vintage head, really didn't make a whole lot of sense, other than if Matty wanted to use this as an opportunity to kind of show off what Masters Universe Classic figures are like for those people who may not already order them online. I mean, it could have been a good way to kind of whet the appetite a bit. But still a fantastic figure. On him, his head, there is a little bit of an up and down, not a whole lot. Does turn side to side. One of the reasons why there's not a whole lot of range of articulation, and I'll take off his armor so you can get a look at it, is of course because of the neck sculpt. I mean, it's nothing new. It's something where I think anyone who's seen a Merman review has been shown this, but again, it was sculpted back in the blue. So the head does turn. A little bit of up and down. Shoulder comes up. Out. Twist the bicep, elbow, and wrist. And even though Merman reuses a lot of Skeletor bits, I mean a lot, the extra part around the neck, and then the hands, because on his hands he only has 4 fingers, and even on the open hand, it just is very cool. It gives him some real personality on there. There is a twist at the waist, and the crunch, which his armor doesn't actually lock down in place. It just kind of slides on him, so it does kind of flop around a bit. But no biggie for the figure if you keep him on display. Leg turns to the top of the thigh, comes up and out. Knee, boot, and foot. Now this Merman does come with his sword, which makes sense because there's a place for him to hold it. So they did go ahead and give him his sword. Stand up here. There we go. Which is in the same blue and yellow styling. And I'd be pretty happy with a couple of things, like here on the paint, you can see where the paint's kind of flaked off a little bit. Now, turns out It actually ended up on the inside of his hand here. But that aside, I mean, it's one of the things where the sword is cool, and it is very much like the way the vintage Merman came out with just the single weapon. But considering Aquaman has a trident, and considering that they basically reused all the same colors off of the original vintage Merman, I would like to take the opportunity to take the Merman armor off of my single card, my original Merman, put it on this one, which I think looks just as good with the blue jewel on it. Seems to kind of go with him pretty well. The sword doesn't have any kind of color on in the inside, so of course it doesn't miss out in any way. But it does give us a chance to use the single-carded Merman trident. So now if you pose him with Aquaman, both the Merman figures have, or both the, Merman and Aquaman come with, or have their tridents. Undersea warlords, undersea kings. The trident is just, it's a must. They have to have it. Well, what is that going to mean for our Merman, our green Merman? Well, almost as if Maddie knew ahead of time that we were probably going to need some accessories for Merman. In the most recent weapons pack, they did go ahead, and I haven't really shown this off much, but they have gone ahead and added the golden armor that he wore in the 2002 series. You know, being that he's got the yellow shorts and gloves, the gold sticks out a bit, but against the green, it still looks pretty cool. And not only that, but they included a sword, and I just dropped it. One sec. They included the trident in gold. So even though it does clash a little bit with the yellow, we definitely get both Mermen with the tridents with just a little juggling of accessories. Now what this also means is that if I wanted to, now that I have one Merman that has this head on it, I can pop off the head from the single card, bringing in the cat's head like so. And I would say if we're going to go ahead and have a green Merman with a cat's head, we should also bring in the vintage version of him to go along. Yeah. So that's taking a look at the Merman from the DC Universe Classics versus Master Universe Classic 2-pack. Hope you enjoyed it. Rate, comment, subscribe, join the revolution. We'll see you soon. Bye-bye.